Good morning, everybody. It is awesome to be back with you guys, and happy Monday to all of you. I hope you guys had the most awesome weekend. We had a great weekend on the north coast, and then the weather changed, and it's pretty miserable here today, but that's okay. We had a goodie, especially Saturday was an absolute cracker. Great beach day, so it's been a good weekend all around, and like I said, I hope it's been good for you. I'm really happy to be back with you guys. My name is Sean Taylor, and I will be your guide at the waterhole, live at the waterhole with Wild Earth for the next 2 hours. Of course, you know that we love hearing from you guys. So please feel free to send us a message or ask us a question on our various social media platforms, as well as on WhatsApp. And we would be very, very happy to chat to you or comment on anything that you have said. When you guys get involved, we have the most amazing show. It's not just about the animals, it's about you guys too. But talking about animals, things are heating up here at Aldonio. We've got some elephants, regular bull ellies. We have, look how that oryx is being dwarfed by pretty much everything. It must feel tiny. We've also got some eland at the back there, but I feel it looks like an AI generated picture with that poor oryx that basically looks like an ant compared to the elephants and the giraffe hanging around the waterhole. That waterhole looks low to me. I don't know what you guys think. Looks fairly low. Wonder whether maybe they're doing pump repairs or something like that, but maybe that's just my eyesight. Who knows? Maybe it's time to visit Specsavers for Black Friday specials. Hopefully it happens. I can get 2 for the price of 1. I'm giving them awesome Black Friday special ideas. Yeah, I actually need to start charging. So guys, as you know, I always have a theme. So this theme, I feel the need to give you guys an official pre-trail briefing about this theme, because this theme may need its own safety measures. Okay, so today's question is, if your mother-in-law were an animal, what would she be? Okay, now I know that's pretty risky, but just hear me out. Okay. Now I'm going to do the pre-trail briefing for you guys. I think you need it, because I know some people's eyes have lit up about this now. But I'm going to go through a couple of things, okay? All right, number one, remember that this stream is public, okay? And any evidence that that you give here on this stream could be used against you at future family gatherings, okay? So just be careful what you say. And if your mother-in-law is watching, try and honor her animal spirit rather than saying something that you possibly could regret. I have pre-warned my mother-in-law, who I'm sure is watching, and I'll probably name what animal I think she is at the end of the show for my personal safety. Okay, and also don't forget to choose wisely, guys. Okay, hyenas and hippos may sound funny, but don't forget Christmas lunch is on its way. Okay, it could seriously spoil your Christmas lunch. Okay, and feel free to also throw in some creativity as well. So maybe she's a lioness because she's fiercely protective, or she's an owl, she's always watching. Who knows, from the shadows, who knows what you could say. Okay, and if you're unsure, or you think that you could possibly get into trouble, just call her an elegant gazelle, and then you're done. Then Christmas lunch is fine and everything will be good. Okay, so send your answers in. This should be good, guys. This is going to be quite funny. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be awesome. I see the gangsters, the zebras are on their way at the back there. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that waterhole. I think even the ellies are struggling a little bit there. But it looks like everybody is kind of getting a drink at some stage or another. But yeah, this giraffe looks fairly happy, although he's peppered in oxpeckers currently. So these oxpeckers are very, very important to these animals. They essentially are like mobile grooming services. And what they do is specifically on giraffe, because giraffe are so ungainly, they can't really reach underneath on their bellies and between their legs. Those oxpeckers are very important to help clean them. And so quite often you'll see these big, almost like flocks sometimes of oxpeckers all over these giraffe. But it's something called symbiosis or symbiotic. Am I saying that right? It's symbiosis. Okay, I'm not going to try and say the other one because I think I've said it wrong. But what it means is both species benefit. Okay, so the oxpecker gets a meal. And the giraffe is able to get rid of its parasites and ticks and so on and so forth that are all over it. The only time where it becomes a bit of a problem is if an animal, so naturally in the wild, maggots are quite important for wound care. An animal will pick up quite a severe wound, either it's been attacked or scratched or something. And those maggots basically eat the dead tissue, and it allows the blood flow into the new tissue for that wound to heal. And sometimes what these oxpeckers do is they eat the maggots, and it causes infection. So sometimes they can be a bit of a pain, but for the most part, they provide an important service to the animals. So I guess it's 90-10. What can you do? So I've already got someone that's coming. Jerome, I like your style, man. I like your style. So it's edgy, but you haven't really gotten yourself into trouble, at least not yet. So Jerome is saying that his mom-in-law reminds him of a meerkat. She's twitchy and always watching. I like that, Jerome. I don't think you'll get into trouble for that, Jerome. I think that'll be okay. And if any of you are wondering, what are you talking about? Our theme for the day is, if your mother-in-law were an animal, what animal would she be? That is correct. I said mother-in-law. So let me guys know. You'll see it there on screen. What animal would she be? I did a pre-trail briefing at the beginning. I'm not going to do it again. But just remember, Christmas is coming. That's all I'm saying. Helga. Oh, nice, Helga. Helga's doing the right thing today. She's keeping it light. Helga's saying that she was a peace dove, and bless her. So that's awesome, Helga. A peace dove. I like that. Very cool. I can see I'm going to have a variety of different different opinions coming through. It's going to be very interesting. I told my wife what I was going to do, and she looked at me as though I'd gone completely nuts. She kind of was like, well, I guess if a lion wasn't going to get you on one of your tours, a mother-in-law getting you is not that bad. I think that was the look that she shot me. But I will behave, I promise, don't worry. Looks like a nice chilled weather day there. Ailey's are not too hot by the looks of things. See, the zebra are kind of, I don't know whether they are just, maybe there's one bull elephant there that they're unsure of, or whether they are looking at the water level and going, I don't know if it's worth getting into trouble with these guys today with the amount of water that's in there. And with these pumped water holes, it's very common, especially if it's one of those old diesel pumps. Some of the areas in Kruger Park have these old diesel pumps that have literally been there since the area was a cattle station, essentially. And those diesel pumps live forever and a day, but they require quite a lot of maintenance. And if that diesel pump doesn't go, a lot of the times it's connected to solar. And if it's been it hasn't generated enough energy, with it being cloudy or whatever, it doesn't work. But a lot of the times what happens is, and we all know as well, that these ellies always go for the freshest water that they can. So often what the elephants will do is they'll dig up the pipe on the way to the waterhole, and they break it open. That's a very, very common occurrence. So elephant damage with waterholes is just a daily occurrence with these guys. So you never know what has happened if a waterhole's not being pumped. There could possibly be many, many different things. Most of the time you can blame these big humongous pachyderms on our screen for the damage that they cause. So Lydia,
this unfolds in front of you.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
Would you like to know what an elephant's favorite food is? You could ask me questions like that in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive from the heart of Africa. The Fortunas over here. Watch Safari Live and connect with nature.
The bush, full of beauty, wonder, and absolute chaos. And now, all that madness has its own show. It's called a Wild Bush Week. The countdown of the most outrageous, heart-stopping, and sometimes downright ridiculous wildlife moments of the week. Lions throwing their weight around. Hyenas gate-crashing the buffet. Leopards doing, well, leopardy things. Each week, it's a fresh reel of safari gold. A mix of drama,
She's just got to Impala, everybody.
danger, and a healthy dose of laughter. So, if you fancy a highlight show with bite, and I don't mean just the animals, tune in to a Wild Bush Week. You bring the tea, and we'll bring the tusks, tails, and teeth.
outside there that was sucking up all the new water. He's just not in a sharing kind of mood today. I think his name is One Tusk, I think is the name that everyone's given him. I stand to be corrected, but I think it is. So we're going to leave these guys to hopefully let the pool fill up a little bit, and we're going to head off and go see what is happening elsewhere. So we've headed over to Greater Kruger National Park here at Rosie's Pan, and we have a hippo who has got its back turned to this bull elephant that's just living the dream here, showing off. He's got plenty of water at the moment. And he's giving himself a little bit of a mud bath, ruining the hippo's home, covering it in mud. He looks super, super, super relaxed, this guy. He's picking up all that mud and sediment at the bottom of the waterhole there, and he's going to use it as his daily sunscreen. And look how he's playing around. That's one thing with elephants. They never outgrow playing around. I've seen old bull elephants that I would have placed at about 45, 50 years old, playing. Playing in the water, playing with other bull elephants that are in the waterhole with them. It's amazing how they never lose that sense of playfulness. I suppose it's just a sign of their intelligence, I guess, that they can kind of move between the different modes that they go in. He's testing his snorkel out, checking to see whether he needs to buy a new one on the Black Friday special. As you can hear, I'm extremely excited about Black Friday coming up. I buy most of my Christmas gifts on Black Friday. I don't know whether you guys do the same thing, but I sit there. Sometimes I even get up at like 12 o'clock. Although, when Black Friday first came to South Africa, I remember you had to wake up at like 12 a.m. and go into the sites. Otherwise, the sites would get crashed. Do you remember that? Like, you'd go into one of the online sites and it would completely crash, and you'd be like, no, this is not acceptable. But I see a lot of the times now they kind of release early Friday specials, and then, it's supposed to be Black Friday, but it ends up being Black 2 weeks, to be honest. Because they always have stuff that goes on like a week or two afterwards. So at least you don't lose out on the stuff. But I'm excited. Most of the Christmas stuff gets bought on Black Friday, at least the fairly expensive stuff. At least I try to do on Black Friday. And then my wife and I love going to Christmas markets and going and having a look at the various little entrepreneurs that build things. I love that. I'm creative when it comes to ideas about safaris and all of that kind of thing, but I am absolutely useless when it comes to building something. I can fix things, but I'm really shocking at building things. So I love just walking around and just seeing how people take that creativity and something that has been formed in their imagination and they build it. I think it's amazing. I have so much respect for it because it's a talent that I wish I had. So just roaming around there with a nice hot cup of coffee, bit of Christmas music playing in the background, and all the buzz about holidays and Christmas. I love it, man. It just it's my favorite time of the year. So you'll notice something that this elephant is doing on his way out of the water here. You notice how the sediment that he's built up with the mud, he's only drinking from that top layer of water where there's no mud in it. I talk about it all the time with these guys, about how clever they are with where they drink and how they drink. And you could see as he was walking out, only half his trunk was going in the water. He was just drinking off that top kind of clear layer, because if you look behind him now, he's ruined the pool. I don't think there's any creepy crawly that's going to fix this. I think he's ruined it. You have to bring on the acid. See one of his friends dropped lunch there, just having a sniff. These guys are very, very social, and they often will sniff urine and dung, and they recognize each other via scent as well. So he very well may know that elephant that dropped that dung there. But we're gonna leave him as he wanders off, and we're gonna leave the hippo that now has to basically rebuild his house, and we're gonna head on and go see what else is going on. We've headed over to Timber Plains now, and we've got some beautiful carmine bee eaters. Really cool. These guys, they head off in our winter, so we don't often see them. There are some areas where I have seen them in the winter around Zambia, but it's really nice to actually see them here, and they'll be nesting currently, and they look hot. Looks like a really hot day there. They're beautiful, very, very distinctive with that blue kind of crown. They're very, very distinctive. And they actually are quite interesting birds, these ones. I've seen them dive bomb fireplaces. So if you build a fire, so all the little the insects, if there is a fire going, so if you light a fire initially, or there's a little bushfire that started, all the little insects that are fleeing, these guys will come in and they dive bomb through the smoke. It's actually quite amazing to watch, and they use the fire to almost flush the insects out, and then they grab them. Very, very cool birds, man. But they're beautiful to photograph as well, especially if you get that morning or late afternoon light on them. They just can make the most fantastic subjects to photograph. Really cool. And the juveniles, they don't have that, they have like a bluish hue. It's almost like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen we get a bird called a European roller. This European roller's got like almost like a sky blue kind of color on its all over its body, actually, with a bit of brown, but that's very similar to what the juveniles look like. So the juveniles actually look like very slender European rollers. They're very cool birds, man. And I've actually seen these guys as well fly around, birds like Cory bustards. Remember, that's our favorite bird guys, the Cory bustards. They use those big terrestrial birds, Cory bustards, and then they sometimes will use some of the smaller bustard species as well. And they, again, while those birds are moving around and walking around, they do it with ostriches as well. They dive around the animal and tackle the insects that are flying around. They're very clever. And they'll be in the thick of their breeding season at the moment. So it kind of starts around August somewhere, and then it peaks all the way through to the beginning of December. And they normally will, you find them on used riverbanks with holes inside, just peppered with holes in the banks where these guys will breed. There's one site in particular that I know of near Lower Sabi, which is in Kruger National Park. And at this time of the year, they are everywhere. And so sometimes you'll see photographers sitting there for the better part of the day trying to get some photos, not just of them sitting like this, but also of them flying around as well with their different coloration. It's really cool.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Do you want to know why impala are the most common antelope we find here in the Kruger National Park? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live. Connect with nature.
Ellie's that we're approaching now.
The light on her as well is absolutely gorgeous.
So we are going to enjoy the rest of this sunset.
Wow, 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 this is absolutely crazy.
And thank you for joining us. For myself and Cam, we will see you next time.
Name's Andreas, and over the years he has perfected birds in flight. So some of his birds in flight photos are next level. They're phenomenal, and he sat in the game vehicle a few times with me and said, okay, you do this, and you focus not on the bird but on the direction that you think it's going to fly off. And he's given me a whole big kind of list of things to do. Never get it right. Sometimes I actually take a photo of fresh air. You know what I mean? It's quite embarrassing. He says, let me look. And I show him, and it's essentially a blurred picture of fresh air. It's quite embarrassing. And I can't blame anything. I can't say, oh, I got bumped or whatever, because it's just me, him, and maybe one or two others in the vehicle. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's just poor photography on my part. So I've got quite a few messages coming through with the question of the day. We're going to head over to Camel Thorn, and then I'm going to go through a couple of them. Richard, I think that you are trying to trick us and you're trying to make Christmas lunch better, but I'll let you guys know more now. So we've now headed on to Botswana, and we've got some hippopotami chilling here in the water. It looks like a beautiful day, and if you look very closely at the female hippo in front of us on the right, there is a tiny baby hippo that's just flapped its little ears. Very, very young. That hippo will be a couple of days old. It's very small. Welcome to the world, little cherub. Don't wake mom up. She needs her rest. Oh man, how precious is that, guys? Oh man. Nature can really show off sometimes. Trying to get comfortable there on mom's nose. Oh man, that is too cute. The rest of them are just having a severe chillax, trying to cover themselves in mud. It looks fairly shallow where they are. Looks like they need a little bit of rain to start, which is soon. With Botswana, they tend to start getting their storms in the next month or so. And everything just turns green, especially in the Machari. I actually prefer going to the Machari in the summertime, even though it is very hot. It is like a paradise in the summertime. Everything is green, beautiful flowers, lots of zebra around. It just is a stunning place to visit. Winter can be quiet and fairly dry. Not the best time to visit. There's a little tip of the day in case you guys are planning a little drive or possibly getting in touch with Wild Earth for an adventure. Definitely look at doing that in the summertime, and what better time to do it than in the next couple of months. But anyway, now while that little cherub sleeps on its mom's nose, Richard, I think that you have decided to you've obviously possibly said something or done something wrong, and you thought, okay, this is the perfect time for me to come back and get some extra points, because Richard has said, good morning to you, Richard. Whichever animal is an angel or closest to an angel, that would be my mother-in-law. Richard. Just outshine all of us. Okay, now here all of us are with our little versions, and here you are with just this like poem, an ode to your mother-in-law. That's really cool, Richard. Very happy for you, man. Yeah, I think you're in the 1% group. And then so now we're now talking severe polar opposites. Okay, so we've got Richard, who's written like a haiku and the ode to his mother-in-law, and then we've got Asbo from the UK that has basically said that his or her mother-in-law is a hippo. And they actually said big fat hippo. I'm not even gonna. I tried to gloss it over, and then the tech guys decided to put on her animal's a big fat hippo, so I couldn't gloss over it. Asvo, I tell you what, I hope you are packing your bag as we speak, and possibly emigrating. That would probably be a good call. I know America's throwing out refugee status at the moment, so you could very well go and just say, I'm being attacked by my mother-in-law, I need to leave. That's very brave. I'm very, I'm proud of you. I don't think you heard my pre-trail briefing, to be fair, but yeah. And then Novi, you're saying my mother-in-law would be a giraffe, but you don't give a reason for that. Possibly just erring on the side of caution there. And then Frederica is saying that her mother-in-law is a male peacock because she loves being the center of attention. I like that. That's it conjures up a beautiful image, at least, Federica, if anything else. And then Jason. Oh, Jason, another brave soul. Jason reckons his mother-in-law is a bear because she scares him. I'm sorry to hear that, Jason. We might need to chat afterwards and go through some coping techniques, okay? Breathing, coping, maybe we'll go through it a little bit. I think they also make medication for that too. As we watch that stunning, beautiful cherub of a hippopotamus there, lying on its mom's little nose, or big nose, should I say? And it looks like could be Asbo's mom-in-law, by the looks of things. And then the others are chilling there. So now, a lot of people will ask me on tour, why are these things always in the water? You know, we see them on land every now and again, and they seem to move around land quite happily with their stubby little legs. Let me tell you, their legs might look stubby, but they are quick. They can hit speeds of up to 40 kilometers an hour. They are extremely quick on their little stumps. But why are they in the water all the time? So the reason is because their skin is very, very sensitive. They don't have sweat glands either. So when the UV rays or the UV level is very high, they tend to blister and burn that skin quite badly. So during the day, they opt to lie in the water, or at least cover themselves in mud if it's this particular time of year. Just to help protect themselves from the UV rays, and then they will feed at night, obviously, when there's no sunshine, and they can move around without getting burnt. And these guys are they'll get out kind of in the early evening, kind of as dusk is coming up, and they'll feed from the waterhole outward. And I just saw a message come through for the mother-in-law thing. I don't know if I can say it. I don't know if I can say it. I'll have to build up some some courage here. But these guys will come out of the water and they start feeding. And when it's the dry season, they can cover any distance from about 20 to 30 kilometers a night. So they essentially are doing a half marathon to look for food almost every night. Because as you know, most animals will feed from the water outwards. So as the dry season kind of gets going, a lot of the food around the waterhole starts to diminish, and these guys have to move around quite a lot. So it's not uncommon if you're out on a night drive with a guide to bump into a hippo out on a game path somewhere, like a couple of kilometers away from water. Or the next morning go on a morning game drive and see hippo tracks on the road nowhere near a dam or a river, because these guys need to go out and they need to try and find some food. So they're quite adaptable, very, very adaptable. I need to get these mother-in-law answers are phenomenal, but I actually need to try and do my job a little bit here as well in terms of asking questions, because where are we? I did see a question earlier and then I started laughing. Oh, Ansi, you asked me a question earlier. My apologies for missing it. You said good morning, Sean. Good morning, Ansi. It's good to hear from you again. You asked what bird was it at Tembu Plains. So those birds were carmine bee-eaters, Ansi. They were the ones that we saw there, the beautiful pink and blue birds. Stunning carmine bee-eaters. Oh man, can't get over how cute this little hippo is, and the others that just haven't moved. And I see you'll see around the hippo there are fish. Looks to me mostly like barbel or sharp-toothed catfish that are popping up all over the place. Now they are bottom feeders, very, very muddy fish, fantastic to catch actually, really good fun to catch because they're quite strong if you're a fisherman, but they're not the cleanest fish. You actually have to you've actually got to clean them if you want to eat them. They're actually very tasty, believe it or not, but you've got to purge them. So if you do catch a catfish, I can see some of their heads are coming out of the ground there, and there's also terrapins. But yeah, you've got to actually purge these guys before you eat them, otherwise you just basically just get flesh that tastes like mud. But listen, we're going to leave this beautiful little cherub that's still lying on his mom's nose, and we're going to head over to Tembe. I'm guarantee you there'll be elephants there. I mean, it is called Tembe Elephant Park, so I had a pretty good shot at calling that correct. But we've also got a small little herd of, or dazzle as they call it, of zebra chilling there by the water. Like I said, a very nice cool day here on the north coast. And we've got the elephants doing what elephants do. We've got some chucking sand all over themselves. We've got small little breeding herds having a little bit of a chat. We've got male elephants just being weird as male elephants when the testosterone comes through. Any male mammal, when the testosterone's flowing, we do end up acting weird, but there he is trying to chase the dazzle off. Obviously not as hospitable as our elephants at Aldonio. Look at that, head up, ears out, shooing them away with his trunk. As my girlfriend would say at high school, whatever floats your boat, buddy. Oh, we got a bit of a trumpet there. Don't you just love checking him out? He's like, yes, look what I have done. He's going to go tell his friends about it. So I chased off a dazzle of zebra. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you ladies saw what I just did there. And of course the zebra just comes straight back. Oh, epic fail. Now he's causing trouble with his mates up at the top there. Can never ever get tired of watching elephants. So listen, for any of you that's joined us, we're 40 minutes into our live at the waterhole transmission, right? You're going to hear some interesting comments coming through. If you weren't here in the beginning when you heard the theme, you're going to think, what is Sean, what has he done over the weekend? Has he been binge drinking over the weekend? What is he talking about? So the theme of the day is, what animal would your mother-in-law be? If she were an animal, if she were an animal, which animal would you choose her to be? Now, Sascot, Keith, you are saying that your mother-in-law is a dragon. Okay. I don't think I need to elaborate on that. I can pretty much guarantee that things were not okay at the Christmas table. Now, Ricardo, I don't know. Sorry, my little dog here is getting excited for whatever reason. If you hear her bark, my apologies. Ricardo has commented on the theme of the day with something very interesting. I don't know how to make of it, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Ricardo reckons that his mom-in-law is a leopard because she's so sexy. Ricardo, I don't know what to make of it, and I don't know what your wife would make of that either. But I know for sure your mother-in-law must be extremely ecstatic about that. So well played. Points. 15 love, easily. Well played. But then we go from that to the other end of the spectrum, because RJ has messaged us and said that his mother-in-law reminds him of a howler monkey, because she's always groaning and shrieking, and she can be heard from a long way off. Oh, RJ. Man, I think you need a hug. RJ, virtual hug. Okay, he has big arms around you. I'm so sorry that you have to deal with this. If you do have hearing issues one day, and you need to get a hearing aid, I think your life will just make more sense, because you can just whoop and turn it down, and then you won't have to hear the howler monkey, aka your mother-in-law, shouting at you. That's very funny. Thanks, RJ. I got a little tear in my eye there. Let's go back to a little bit of the action, try and do my job a bit today. We've got a beautiful Birchall zebra going for a little walkie. So yesterday my son went to a birthday party at one of the local estates around where we live, and there were horses there. And my daughter shouts out, "Oh, we have to stop and look at these horses, Dad. It's very important for my mental well-being." So out we get, and we walk over to the fence, not really thinking much of it. And these horses, I think people feed them. I think they come over to the fence and give them carrots and apples and whatever the case is. And this absolutely, look what that male elephant that chased the zebra away, he's only causing issues back there. He's being a pain. He's obviously got his testosterone coming in, and he's exerting his authority over the breeding herd, because as you guys know, from about the age of 15 the males get kicked out, so they aren't a permanent fixture to the breeding herds. But he's naughty, this guy. He's being a pain. But anyway, so
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Would you like to know at what age a buffalo calf gets its horns? These are questions that you can ask me in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
Oh, she's gonna catch it.
Come on, Tommy.
Watch this, we're about to see a kill.
You can see how close he is from where I am.
Feel sorry for those termites. Gee whiz. And I remember I said to you when he was chasing everyone around that his testosterone levels are probably heightened and he's exerting his authority. Well, jeez, how right was I? Oh, gee whiz. I was crazy, man. Anyway, we'll just move on politely and we will head over to some more comments about the theme of the day. Nathan, you're saying she's a dog because she's loyal and protective. That's very, very nice, Nathan. I'm very, very happy to hear that. And Richard, I'm really glad you came back. Richard, remember, came and said that his whichever animal is closest to an angel, that would be his mother-in-law. And I was concerned that there was some point scoring happening, and Richard has come back and confirmed that he's not trying to score any points. It's all about love, and he wishes there was more in this world. And Richard, I agree with you completely. I completely agree, and I think that's great. And I hope your mother-in-law is watching, or at least will watch the replay on YouTube later. So that she can see that awesome comment. For some of you, though, I hope your mother-in-law does not watch the replay on YouTube because you could be in severe trouble. Press 1 for help. That's all I'm going to say. And then Wendy has said that her mother-in-law reminds her of a wildebeest because her face is abnormally long. Oh, Wendy, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. It must have been difficult during COVID to find a mask, obviously, if her face was that long. Yeah, maybe she had one made, possibly, a personal one made. That's so funny, man. Thanks, Wendy, for that. That's quite cool. And Dylan, you've come through and you have said that she is a marabou stork. Enough said. So Dylan, I'm obviously going to take from that comment that you want us to draw our own conclusions as to why she is a marabou stork. I can think of a few, but I'm not going to throw them out there in case your mother-in-law is listening, because then that comment is going to become my problem, and I would prefer that to not happen. So I'll just keep quiet. What a peaceful, beautiful day here at the waterhole here at Tempe Elephant Park. Just do yourself a favor, just turn your television or whatever device you're looking at it up just for 10 seconds and just listen to the birds and the wind and the elephants moving around. Oh man, I love nature. Isn't it amazing? It's like ASMR was always there. We just never really paid much attention to it. We're so lucky to have these cameras on all the time and able to witness all of this. So now I'm going to actually go over to a question from Michelle, because I feel like I'm just not I'm not engaging with the questions of animals. I'm just having so much fun with your guys' comments. It's so funny, man. Thank you so much, guys. Keep the comments coming in. You're making myself and the guys in the technical department here laugh. It's so funny, man. So Michelle, you've got a question for us, an actual question. You are asking, is the Burchell zebra the biggest of all the zebras? That's the posh name for them, zebras. We call them zebras though. So Michelle, no. So in terms of size, the biggest is actually the Cape Mountain zebra. They are huge. They can, in terms of kilograms, they can weigh up to about 350 kilograms. They are big, very, very big. And they can reach a shoulder height of about 1.5 meters or so, around about there, between kind of 1.3 and 1.5 meters, if memory serves. They're very, very big, very stocky. Whereas the ones that we see on screen, the one most of the time here, which are the Burchell zebra or the plain zebra, as some call them. Their shoulder height's a little bit less, and they weigh anything from between 50 and 70 kilograms less. That's a lot. 50 to 70 kilograms is a leopard, is a male leopard. So essentially they're a male leopard. Cape Mountain zebra weigh a male leopard more than a Burchell zebra. But they look very different. The mountain zebra's got very narrow black and white stripes. They don't have that shadow stripe or that brown stripe, and it's like almost like a gridiron pattern, and a white belly, very very particular white belly, and a dewlap. So the dewlap is, if you guys have seen the eland, especially at Old Donyo, the males have got that flap of skin just under their chin, which is something called a dewlap. Male leopards get it as well as they get older, and they've got that dewlap. So they do look quite different to the zebra that we see on our screens most days. So thank you very much for the question, Michelle. I'm going to go back to some of the comments, yeah? Because they are cracker. So, Stephanus, you're saying...
Oh, wow.
Chidzana na tsima ra ntumbuluko.
Would you like to know the difference between a male and a female wildebeest? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live and connect with nature.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Abuse that the termite mound had to endure, because I don't think that happens every day, and I hope it doesn't. But generally speaking, these ellies are moving around, drinking, socializing, and it's very, very important for them to have some kind of routine. Now, if you look at rhinos as well, very routine. Lions too. In the areas that I garden, the core of the lion pride, so the females and their youngsters, they have set areas that they go into. And quite often you'll hear guides say, oh, you know, the lion pride have been further north, but they are due to come back anytime soon. Because we get into like a pattern with these animals, and we kind of know kind of when around about they come through. I mean, it's not like clockwork, obviously, but they're in their routines. And so where I'm getting at with this, short story long, is, don't ever be told that, routine is not good, and having creature habits is not good, because it's, the animals out there have them. They do this. Their comfort. They have their comfort that they do every day, and it means a lot to them. And we could learn a lot from these guys as human beings in terms of just getting into a daily routine that is comfortable for us and makes us feel happy, and makes us feel comfortable. It's very, very important. I understand the world that we live in, that we've got to adapt, sure, but don't discount just having a little bit of routine in the day. You'd be surprised just how important it is for your spirit and your mind. That'll be 1,000 Rand. Thank you for your therapy today. I've got so many mother-in-law things. I mean, this is pure gold. Absolute pure gold here. So I've got Ivan, who has told me that his mom-in-law is a zebra because she only sees things black and white. Yes, Ivan. I know a few people like that. It is. Black and white is, especially as your mom-in-law gets older as well. They do tend to see things in black and white. And they'll say things like, in my day. That old nugget. When you go for some advice, not necessarily a mother-in-law, love you, mom, but just anyone else, you go to of that generation, and they'll say, well, in my day, this is what used to happen. And you kind of like, yes, no, I get that, but back then there wasn't the personal computer. Nowadays we have, handheld phones and stuff. Things have changed. I can't do it like that. We have to change. So sometimes getting sage advice can be difficult. So I completely get it, Ivan. Completely get it, man. And then this is a cracker. So if you guys are listening, turn the TV up a little bit, because Brian, I haven't said Brian's now for a bit because I've been laughing internally. I actually turned off the microphone earlier. I said, please listen to the elephants, because this is a cracker. This is an absolute cracker. So Brian, thank you for this. Brian reckons... First of all, hello, Brian, as you send salutations to me. I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you're safe, Brian, after I mention this. Brian is saying that his... Okay, I'll try and get through this. His mother-in-law is a dussie. Okay, now, for those of you that don't know what a dussie is a rock rabbit. So every now and again, we'll shoot through to Betty's Bay, and we'll see those weird little rabbit-type things in the rocks. That is a rock dussie, or a rock rabbit. Now, Brian's mother-in-law is like a dussie because she has an intense death stare. Okay? He calls it the dussie death stare, and he swears it could petrify and fossilize things. That's how bad it is. Okay? You've got to wear survival goggles. That's the only way you can bond with her. Oh, Brian, that is hilarious. So I'm guessing you've done a few things wrong in your time, Brian, and you've been given the dusty death stare, which I think I'm going to take, if you don't mind, because my mother-in-law doesn't have a dusty death stare, but my wife does. And not only does my wife have a dusty death stare, but she also has this eyebrow that goes up on her left eyebrow. It goes up in levels. And it's not subtle. I'm not going to sit here and say it's subtle. You won't notice it. If you've done something wrong, her eyebrow goes up in levels, and it can go quite high. And the higher it goes, the longer I sleep on the couch. It's like a graph. You will start sleeping on your couch on this day, and it'll only end on that day. So I get that death stare completely, Brian. Get it 100%. In fact, I got it a couple of days ago. I didn't get on the couch, luckily, because the eyebrow didn't go up that much, but it's because I recovered quickly. As you no doubt learn as wives and husbands that are married, you learn to disengage the gear knob quite quickly if you're on a downhill and the brakes have failed, to put it mildly. Erica, you're saying that you've just turned on and that you're in stitches. No, we're all in stitches here, Erica. This is awesome, man. I'm just loving it. And thank you guys for getting involved, and it's just so much fun, man, as we sit here and watch these Ellies carry on with their day. We've got one heading off into the bush there. We've got those two young males that are still having a little bit of a joust. And it's important, guys, that jousting for these young males it's a very important rite of passage for them. Because as they get older, often, especially in a very big open system like Kruger National Park or in Botswana, some of these male elephants will only be big and strong enough to actually try and start mating when they're in their mid-20s. And they've essentially been started puberty, 10 to 12 years before that. So can you imagine how many termite mounds get destroyed by those guys? Let's just leave that there. But they wander around the wilderness, and it takes a long time for them to get to the point where they're strong enough to be able to fight off other males. Now, in a closed system, you obviously have to manage your animals, so you don't have that amount of competition. So the males tend to either they don't get a chance at all to mate, or they get regular chances to mate, depending on how many Ellies are there. But it's very important for these guys to push each other around, because it teaches them how to, as you see these guys busy pushing at the back there, it teaches them how to fight. It teaches them how to balance. It teaches them how to move their neck. It's very, very important. But also it helps them, because with animals, you often, you turn on Nat Geo or Discovery Channel or something like that. Although I feel Discovery Channel is just open ocean documentaries these days. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but anyway, you often see animals in conflict, fighting, attacking each other, wrestling each other down to the ground, giraffes swinging their necks and belting each other. But it doesn't happen that often, actually, as often as you think it does, because these animals learn to gauge each other by size. So obviously when a really large bull elephant, and we've seen it at Oldonyo as well before, where a big bull elephant comes in and the rest of them, you can see they drop their heads and they act submissively. So often they go by the size of the animal, but also with this jousting that's happening as well, they do it with various bulls around the reserve, and so they get to know each other. They get to know who is like the Hulk Hogan of Tembe Elephant Park, and who is like the I don't know if there's any wrestling aficionados out there, but there was a guy named Barry Horowitz who I don't think won one match ever. So who's the Hulk Hogan and the Barry Horowitz of Tembe Elephant Park? And so often they'll see that elephant that they've jousted with before and they'll back off. So it's very, very important for them to mess around and play around like that.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh! Whoa. This is action-packed. My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. I grew up mostly in the Lowveld. I grew up here pretty much on the southern side of Kruger National Park, a place called Marlow Park, for most of my years. Something surprising about myself, I did play drums in a band for many years. Best sighting I presented, we found Palumba and the 2 cubs, and the cubs are just way big.
Ah, the bush, full of beauty, wonder, and absolute chaos. And now, all that madness has its own show. It's called a Wild Bush Week. The countdown of the most outrageous, heart-stopping, and sometimes downright ridiculous wildlife moments of the week. Lions throwing their weight around. Hyenas gate-crashing the buffet. Leopards doing, leopardy things. Each week, it's a fresh reel of safari gold. A mix of drama,
She's just got an impala, everybody.
danger, and a healthy dose of laughter. So, if you fancy a highlight show with bite, and I don't mean just the animals, tune in to a Wild Bush Week. You bring the tea, and we'll bring the tusks, tails, and teeth.
So funny, man. But thanks for just confirming. And then Simon, Simon, this is heavy, man. This is a heavy one. You're saying that your mother-in-law is like a mosquito because she buzzes in uninvited, sucks the joy out of your life, and leaves itchy welts of guilt. Simon, woo! Not holding back. Coming out swinging in the first round is Simon. Woo, man. I'm actually gone red in the face. That's a ripper. I hope you do have some cream for those itchy welts, Simon. That sounds quite sore. Man, that's funny. Shame, Simon. I do feel sorry for you. No one likes a buzzing mosquito, let's be honest. Have you guys ever noticed with mosquitoes that you can, so one will fly around and you'll get rid of it, okay? And then I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's post-traumatic stress disorder that I have from mosquitoes. But they'll fly around and you get rid of it. And then you hear one, but there isn't one in the room. But you can hear one flying around. It's like in your subconscious. And you just cannot get rid of the sound. Even if you put headphones on, you can still hear that mosquito. I like to call it mosquito post-traumatic stress disorder. And in the summertime, South Africans get it quite badly. And I know some of my Canadian clients as well have said that mosquitoes up there are also unbelievable. So, Simon, the more I read your comment, the more I really do feel sorry for you, man. And I think possibly some medication and some therapy might be in order for you. As we head over to, now I feel like I'm going to scroll here because Dylan, your mother-in-law is on the TV right now. Dylan said his mom's a Marabou stork and she just appeared to give you trouble, Dylan. She's come on television to tell you off. And there we have a beautiful Marabou stork, and I say beautiful because they are beautiful in their own way. I suppose if you were blind, they would be beautiful, but they are quite cute in their own way. And I swear this one in particular stands in the same spot, because the last time we came to Vic Falls Safari Lodge, I promise you now, this Marabou stork, I don't know if it's the same one, the Marabou stork was standing in the exact same spot. And the only reason I say that is because as a photographer, you always look for framing, and that little bare bush on the right side kind of frames it quite nicely. And I remember looking at that the last time and thinking, I could use that. So I almost feel like we were talking about habits and rituals. I almost feel like this Marabou stork is doing the same. They are funny birds, man. We call them the Undertaker in the guiding community because they look like the Undertaker with the coat that they're wearing, and they're always surrounded by death. Whenever there's a dead animal, be it a kill, like a lion kill or a leopard kill or something, or an animal that's just passed away, there are always Undertakers there, hence the name Undertaker. Giving himself a little bit of a clean, making himself look good for the ladies. I don't know if that's possible, but he is trying. So, at least give him a little bit of credit. And you'll see, you can't really see it too well now, but just kind of just below his neckline, there's like it's almost like a wattle, but it's actually an air sac that they inflate to cool down. They use it to cool down, and also for social displays, they'll blow it up. But then also at the back of this Marabou stork's neck, there's also it's a secondary air sac as well, that you see, that kind of red mark at the back. So he's not bleeding or anything like that. It's actually a secondary air sac. And talking about cooling down, actually, these Marabou storks, so you'll check there's white streaks on its legs. Its legs almost look completely white, but that's not really the color of them. They actually defecate on their legs to cool themselves down. So like an elephant would cover itself in mud, so will a Marabou stork defecate on itself to cool itself down. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's a hit at parties, and I don't think it necessarily does much for its sexual appeal. But hey, everyone's different. And I saw something very interesting with a marabou stork once. Not in person. I saw a video of it. It might even be on YouTube. I'm not sure. But there was a marabou stork that grabbed a flamingo and drowned it. So he grabbed it by its neck and he shoved it into the water and actually drowned it, and then started eating this flamingo. Try and see if you can find it on YouTube. Although it might be on Facebook as well. I'm not too sure. But I couldn't believe it. It was like a full-on murder that took place. It was next level. And dragged it up and then started feeding on it. Very, very strange behavior. I'm not saying it's a common thing, because I don't think it's common. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have any flamingos left. But yeah, interesting behavior from these guys. Hence the name, The Undertaker. They just keep, kind of working on their names. And they are just coming out of their breeding season now. As we go into November, they've already laid all their eggs and their chicks are hatching. So the summertime, they just move around and they're monogamous. Like the Carmine bee eaters that we saw earlier, they're monogamous. And they also they try and go to the same nest every year, if possible. So yeah, they're all communal nests. So sometimes it's not possible to nest in the same spot, but they at least try and do it. There's another one over there. Really big birds, and check those big feet, almost like a T-Rex walking around the waterhole here. So we'll go back to our theme. If you guys have joined us, if you on your lunch break or whatever the case is, and you've just joined us, we've had an awesome theme today. Lots of laughs. The theme was, if your mother-in-law is an animal or could be an animal, what would she be? That is the theme for the day. Stacey, you have said that your mother-in-law is a honey badger because she doesn't give a damn about boundaries. Wow. Lots to unpack. Stacey, about that. Yeah, man. Get it. And Madison, you're saying your mother-in-law reminds you of a tarantula because she's hairy. I think in pictures, Madison. So already, this could possibly be the worst of the day. But you're saying she is a tarantula because she's hairy and unpredictable. Well, Madison, I'm sorry to hear that. Just stay away from the business end. That's all I'm going to say. You see this I got distracted with a comment that came through. You see the mouth was open there a little bit, releasing some air. So often you'll see birds doing that in the summertime. They'll have their mouths open and you'll be like, oh my goodness, it's dying, give it a drink. But no, it's not that. It's just trying to cool down a bit. And these guys actually, their nest, when they are breeding, their nests are huge, really big nests, very untidy. As you can imagine, they don't look like neat birds. Am I right? They look like untidy birds, but nothing can come close to my daughter's bedroom. I can tell you right now. My daughter's bedroom is, I'm scared to go in there because I'm scared there's some kind of old world beast that is living in her room that has mutated from the clothes and food bowls and stuff that she's left in there. and I get attacked viciously by something. So nothing can be as bad as her room, and I'm hoping this public display of displeasure about her room encourages her to change. Even though I don't think she's listening, I'll play it back from her. But these guys have very untidy nests, and they're quite high up from the ground as well. Actually, they can be kind of just up from the water, and they normally go around the water. So they don't breed on the water, it's kind of just up from it. As you see, he's now heading off somewhere. Looks very dry there. But you know, Vic Falls is a funny place. I don't know whether you guys have any of you have actually been to Vic Falls, but you can be in Vic Falls town, and it's lush, and you know, you can go do the rainforest walk, and it's beautiful. And then you just kind of travel up a little bit towards the Bulawayo side, up towards Hwangi, and it just goes dry like this. Absolutely bone dry, and it feels like you've actually gone to a completely different country. Vic Falls is a funny place like that. So it gets very dry there. Obviously, they get the rainy season, which is coming through now, which will help things out a little bit. But yeah, that is pretty dry, and you can see it's hot with this marabou stork busy trying to cool itself down there. It looks really hot, and in fact, October we call it in Zimbabwe, we call it suicide month, because it is the hottest month of the year, and it is unbearable. The temperatures go into the 40 degrees Celsius. If are there any of my North American friends watching? That's Celsius, not Fahrenheit. And so Fahrenheit wise, you're looking at over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And it just stays like that for days and days. And you can hear the cicada beetles in the background. And there's hardly any wind. And it is just, all the water dries up. And it becomes like a massive desert. It is, it's next level. October is a shocking month. Really.
Oh, yes, there's a leopard. I've got a leopard here. My name is Cedric, and behind the camera with me we've got Muscles and Paul. Well, it is Feline Friday.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. The best driver at Wild Earth, it is me. I believe I'm the best driver. I think so, because I've... best part of my job, I say, is just to try and look out for these animals, track them down. I love tracking animals. I love looking for, fresh tracks, and if you can find them, it's just at the moment of accomplishment. If I wasn't a presenter for Wild Earth, I would be the drummer for AC/DC.
And that's it for this morning's drive.
She's just got her Impala, everybody.
And we're going to be heading out and seeing what animals we can find.
Every month, something wild lands in your inbox. From rare sightings and behind-the-scenes secrets to expert stories, seasonal changes, and exclusive travel opportunities, the Wild Earth Journal is your free monthly mailer, packed with the magic of the wild straight from the field. It's fun, it's free, it's full of surprises. Sign up now on the Wild Earth website.
Yeah, I just love how all the secrets are coming out. I think I'm going to have to do more themes like this, guys, because I'm seeing some family secrets popping out here. This is fantastic. Although I feel like I'm going to get some people into trouble. Oh, the massive plane has taken off. And they are very, very, very heavy birds. If you ever see them perched somewhere, they it's always, we got a warthog there as well. It's always on trees with no leaves or branches, so that when they take off, they've got some space. It's the same with vultures. You'll never find them in thick trees because of them not being able to take off with it. They need a lot of space to take off. So we're going to move on from our marabou stork waterhole and go ahead off and see what else is going on somewhere else in Africa. And we've headed over to Tau and in the Madikwe, which is right up on the border of Botswana, and we have some waterbuck with those white rings around their butts. I see no one has said that their mother-in-law is like a waterbuck yet. I don't know whether that's going to happen yet or not. Although having a white ring on the bum could possibly be a sign of a medical condition, so I suppose no one wants to really bring that up. We've got a beautiful male waterbuck at the back there on the left, just under the Tau thing. Oh no, that's moved now. And then we've got two females in the front here. Sexual dimorphism, females no horns, and the males have got these beautiful curved horns. Looks very dry there in Madikwe as well. Quite windy as well by the sounds of it. Beautiful, and it's not uncommon to see the male waterbuck on their own and the females together, so the males don't always hang around with the breeding herds. Obviously when there's a female on heat or in estrus, they are there like a bear, but out of season the males will tend to wander around a little bit and kind of do their own thing. Got a big bull elephant coming down with some more waterbuck down there as well. Looks fairly quiet with the birds. Normally this place is packed with birds. Having a look for the crocs, I'm sure, this side. You check, there's the other males sitting down, and I feel like there's a crocodile down there. I stand to be corrected though. Thought I saw, but here comes a beautiful bull ellie. Got a little breeding herd there as well on the right. Got one in the back there having a bit of a mud bath. Looks like a beautiful sunny pool day there in Madikwe. Looks great. And let me tell you, I have, with guests before, found a mud wallow and rolled around like the elephants do. And I can tell you, it is so much fun, man. Just getting yourself absolutely covered in mud, and then grabbing sadly, I can't grab beer when I'm out with guests, but grabbing a Coke or something, and the guests and the guest grabbing a nice beer or a gin and tonic and sitting there covered in mud with some sunscreen on. It's just so much fun, man. Do as the animals do, as they say. As you can see, the one there is just loving life. It's like, no, I don't want to go yet. Come on, guys. Oh, you're so boring. Let's stay by the pool. Oh, sadly, mom or auntie or granny has decided that it's time to leave, and so he has to go, and off he goes out of the pool. But I'm sure warthogs or something will come and take its place. As we said, there's an Egyptian goose in the water there. So more mother-in-laws coming in. We got Julian. Julian, you're saying you don't have a mother-in-law. Some would say you're lucky, but you do have a father-in-law who is like a walrus. And you're saying your father-in-law's like a walrus because he has a moustache that could hide a sandwich. And he grunts approval only when the beer's cold and the game's on. So Julian, I love that comment, and he sounds like a really cool walrus, I've got to say. I don't have the genetic prowess to grow a moustache that big, sadly. Mine just looks like I've pulled a new shirt over my head and there's fluff under my nose. It just, yeah, something is wrong genetically with that. So I'm quite jealous of the moustache growing technique that your father-in-law has got. And I too do grunt when the beer's cold and the game is on, especially if it's rugby. So thumbs up, Julian, to your father-in-law. Sounds like a boss. I like him already. Oh, what a beautiful day with that. Look at that silhouette. Now, photographers, just imagine being in the hide and just snapping away at that stunning silhouette of that Ellie on the other side there. Oh man, how cool is that? So we're gonna fly south to King's Camp and see what's going on there. Gee whiz, things have gone south here at King's Camp. We've got all the splashing of mud on the water there with over the camera. It looks, how cool does that look? This is a proper spa bath. Isn't that amazing? Look at that wrinkly skin. Oh, we've got a young one there. Oh man, it just looks like so much fun. This is summertime in Africa, man. If you guys are not, if you're overseas and you're in the UK or in the States or wherever, this is summertime in Africa. Hot.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Wow, that was amazing, everybody.
Return some normalcy to viewing by the looks of things. So thank you so much, Dr. Stripes. Dr. Stripes is saying that been loving the mother-in-law comments, as have all of us. It's been great, but he's going to break from the norm and say that my mother-in-law is like a sunbird, an absolute ray of sunshine on a gloomy day. Dr. Stripes, that's very kind, and I'm sure will go down very well. Now, guys, just to let you know, this is probably the most amount of comments that I've got from anything that I've ever asked. So it just shows you where your guys' minds are at. I just love it. I think we're all kindred spirits. I think it's awesome. So I think we need more themes like this. But our tech guys have come through to me and said there are a few comments that they just cannot even send to me, let alone anything else. Apparently there are some stinkers that have come through. So that is so funny, man. You guys have been awesome today. I mean, for a Monday, you guys have just been next level, and we so appreciate it, guys. We really do. When you guys get involved like this and we have a laugh like we have today, it just means so much to myself and the technical crew here at Wild Earth. So thank you, guys. It's been an amazing day. We still have 20 minutes left as well, so I'm sure there's going to be a few crackers coming through. But thank you, guys. It's been I've been laughing so much here. I have a cup of coffee sitting next to me that's now gone cold, and I just haven't been able to drink it because I've just been laughing so much. It's been amazing. Oh man, how cute is that little Ellie? Sure, that's a big elephant. That is a large pachyderm on screen right now. Wow. So Gladys, thank you so much for your question. Sorry, not Gladys, my sincere apologies. Gladys, you've given me a comment on your mother-in-law, which I will throw out there now. But Petula, I'm really sorry. You're in France, so welcome, Petula. Appreciate you commenting and tuning in all the way from France. You're asking, do the waterbuck have a summer fur? Because they still look very fluffy. So Petula, no, they don't. They have that fur all year round. They don't molt or anything like that. It is part of their genetics. And it's for a reason. They tend to run into the water when they are being put under pressure by a predator, but they also will walk into the water to feed on aquatic plants too. And that fur is very, very oily. They've got very active sebaceous glands, or not even sweat glands, but very oily glands in their skin. And those glands basically make that fur very, 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 very kind of oily. And when they climb out of the water just runs off them, and they give a shake, and they almost dry almost immediately. So it's there for a reason, and it's not there for warmth or anything like that. So thanks so much for your question. I really appreciate it, Petula, and thanks again for tuning in from all the way from France. We love our international viewers. Means a lot that you've taken time out of your day to tune in to us, as all our viewers. We really do appreciate it, so thank you so much. And then Gladys, let me get to you before I chat about our weaver birds here. Gladys is saying that her mother-in-law is a ladybug because she's tiny but lucky and lands on your windowsill with good cookies and good vibes. Gladys, that's very kind of you to say. A ladybug, I like that. I love ladybugs. So we were having a look at the weaver birds there. So we're just having a look and seeing what else is going on. Yeah, as we've crossed over to the Masai Mara, away from our ellies. Wonder if something interesting is going on. Just a little bit of a scan. I wonder if one of our zoomies has spotted something interesting. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that cloud. Looks like there's a bit of, possibly a little storm brewing there. Got some cumulus clouds on the horizon. Nice and green. Beautiful. We're back to our village weavers. We had them last week as well, and last week we had that nest in the middle there. You still see the grass is still green, but it looks like the female has approved of the nest technique. As I mentioned last week, for those of you that were not around, these weavers, they build the nest. Takes them about 24 hours, the males, to build the nests. And if the female doesn't like it, doesn't approve, she just nips it off, and then the male has to build it again. And it looks like he got away with it, and this time it looks fantastic. Busy, 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 busy all the time. Never ends. And that opening will always be underneath, obviously because of the rain. That makes complete sense, no? So that it doesn't get too wet. And then often what they'll do as well is they will build it on the side of the tree, away from the prevailing winds, so that when the prevailing wind starts to pick up, it doesn't damage the nest, especially if the wind comes through at quite a rate of knots. So they're so clever, man. You know, nature is, we learn so much from nature, and you know, there's actually around the world there's people that are still studying, universities that are still trying to figure out how the fungus growing termites, how they keep their the colonies or the nests at a constant temperature, and how they work it out, how they manage to get it up to a temperature and then keep it within half a degree. Basically just by growing fungus and having a tunneling system. So, you know, for as clever as we are as human beings, there's some things that we still just don't have the answers to. These animals are just ahead of the game. We've got Greg, who's come through, says that my mom-in-law is like a wolverine. She's small, mean, and will fight you over the last rib while calling you soft. Greg, You have PTSD too. And let me tell you, I love ribs. So I would fight for that last rib 100%. There's nothing better than a nice rib braai or barbecue. So I'm there with you, Greg. You take that Wolverine out. You don't take any nonsense. If there's ribs on the menu, you get going. You take your share.
Let's go and take a look. See you out there.
Every week, the wilderness delivers.
And that's why we're here.
Drama, chaos, crimes, humour. All moments you'll never forget. We've counted them down, argued about them, and finally picked the very best. From rare sightings to classic bush showdowns, this is nature's weekly highlight reel. Sharp facts, bad jokes, and the wildest top 5 you'll see this side of the savannah. It's not just a show, it's a wild bush week.
Can you hear that? The wild is calling.
Percent of what they eat, which is shocking actually. So, but there's a reason for that, which I'll get into now. But because they don't digest a lot of what they eat, they are feeding for a good 18 hours or so of the day, 18 to 20 hours. So these guys are always active, and they'll stop and have a little bit of a 20-minute power nap, half an hour power nap here and there, a couple of times a day. They'll never lie down like we do for 5, 6, 7 hours, whatever your sleep pattern is like. Every now and again, I'll wake up in the morning, and I don't know whether having a smartwatch is a good idea, because some mornings you wake up and your watch just basically lambastes you and just says you didn't have a good sleep last night. Your respiration wasn't good either. It was higher than normal, and it almost instead of waking up in a good mood, it just basically lambastes you and says just sleep better tonight, please. So I don't know whether they've got it right and they have 20-minute, half an hour power naps throughout the day, and that's just the way to get things done. That bird walking behind, so there's 2 birds actually. The one on the left with the brown on the wings is called an African jacana, and then the little bird that's running around at the back near the reeds is called a 3-banded plover. We've got another African jacana that has just joined the waterhole there with the mud wallow, should I say. I'm staying quiet because I'm hoping... Oh, there we go. So there's the jacana there that's just popped out. The other one should walk through shortly. Now, something interesting about the jacanas that some of you may not know about them is that normally in the animal kingdom, the males with the birds are the ones that do all the... Oh, what a absolute party pooper that elephant is. So I'm going to cut my little chat short about the jacanas quickly, and we're going to head over to Founders for a very special sighting. Chubby unicorn. Square-lipped or white rhinoceros bull, beautiful boy, big guy, big shoulders, big rugby player here. See that? So that red coloration that you see on his skin, that's not normal. It's not like there's something wrong with him or anything. It's just because there's a lot of iron oxidization that is happening in the soil. And so when he jumps into his mud wallow, he gets that red coloration on the skin. And you see that tail corkscrew there, that is a sign of stress with rhino. So when we are on foot, it's a sign that we look for when we're walking a rhino, is that tail when it goes up like that, just to back off a little bit. And he's doing it because of this female and the youngster that's walking up here. Possibly just a bit stressed as to who she is, or possibly he said something about his mother-in-law and she's not very happy about it. She's a bit cross, giving him the silent treatment. That's happened in my house before, so that could possibly be what's going on. He joined in on the theme, and sadly it has gone south for him, and he didn't get it right. We've got some Egyptian geese at the waterhole with their two little goslings. Do you guys remember a time when there were like 6 of these goslings? And they sadly only have 2 left. And that's not uncommon. A lot of predators will take these birds out. We've got crocodiles, we've got other birds of prey like eagles, we've got some mammals as well. Leopard will eat anything. Monitor lizards will take them as well. So sadly for mom and dad goose here, their little ones are constantly under fire. But life seems to be good for the family at the moment. Oh, there's 3. Pardon me, I thought I only saw 2, but there's actually 3 of them. Beautiful, beautiful birds, these Egyptian geese. Very, very cool. Got that very distinctive red eye patch, which the juveniles don't have. And it's not uncommon if there's a nest that's fairly high up with these little goslings, that when they start moving around from the nest and want to get down, that they fall, so they jump. So they jump down from the nest and they land, and you think, oh no, this is not good. This poor little bird's going to be hurt. But actually, they get stunned a little bit, as we see the rhino in the background there, and then they just carry on with life. So I'm gonna have to do my mom-in-law, because I think it would only be fair for me to throw it out there. It seems that you guys have been so amazing. So my mom-in-law is a goldfish. Okay, The reason I say my mom is a goldfish is because she is one of the most forgetful people on the planet. She forgets where she's put things. She forgets where her keys are. She'll come around for a bra and forget, that she's brought bowls or whatever. And to be fair, if it's a really good quality Tupperware or whatever, we just take it and just tell her that she must have left it somewhere else. But yeah, full on goldfish, guys. She, forgets pretty much everything you say, which sometimes can be a good thing, but most of the time is not. My poor father-in-law, is constantly running around trying to remember where things were put, especially phones, vapes, and keys. It's quite hectic. So we've got about 3 to 4 minutes left of the show, guys. We've got this rhino walking around with that tail up, but I suspect that's more about territorial marking than anything else. I don't think it looks too stressed out with the head down and sniffing. I think it's more territory type of thing. I think we've got time for one more question, which has come from Kathy. Kathy is asking, what's the best mom, in my opinion, in the animal kingdom? Oh, at least so. Kathy, I'm going to answer it from an African perspective, obviously, because as we head over to King's Camp, because that's where I operate. And I would say, Kathy, that the best moms are cheetahs, female cheetahs, because they are constantly under fire. They'll have 2 to 3 cubs, and she is a lower pecking order of the predators. So when she catches food, she's got to fight off jackals, she's got to fight off hyenas, she's got to fight off vultures. If she kills something in the late afternoon, she's then got problems, or early morning, she's got problems with lions and leopards too. I've seen cheetahs get driven off by vultures as well. So a female cheetah, it's a hard life, a very, very hard life. She is constantly, if anyone's ever had the privilege of seeing a female cheetah with cubs in the wild, you'll see she never settles down. She's always looking, ears are always pricked, always looking for something. It's a very, very hard life. So guys, we've got a minute left. I want to just say thank you so much for being involved today. We got some amazing comments coming through. Some we could air, some we couldn't, but the ones that we couldn't made us laugh. Now I know your sixth sense of humor. I will work on it and find some other possible things that we can talk about next time. I think I'm back on Wednesday. For now, I want to say thank you, and thank you to Wild Earth technical team for another amazing show. Guys, it has been awesome. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Much love to all of you. And for those of you whose mother-in-laws did see their comments, Godspeed to all of you. And may Christmas around the table be a good one. For now, it's cheers from me.